Hey folks, how you doing? It's Clay Francisco here. Just wanted to give you an end of the year wrap up. Yeah, that's about it. I feel pretty good, but this is the first year that I really feel like I've decided to become an author. Before that, last year, 2017, I think I started playing around with writing about the end of 2017 and just started, seeing if I even wanted to do it. Got it in my head that I would write a Conan um, inspired, just real short and dirty, sword and sorcery kind of thing. Um, and after being bullied from my by my coworkers at work, I decided it was time to just ship it, put it up, do it, right? Go big or go home. And so I did that. And that was all actually done. Well, so I wrote the book leading up to the beginning of the year. I released it in April. And then, so it actually took me, 4 months to get it out because it took me a while to get the formatting down and figure out how to do all this stuff. And I've always taken my time. It's only a 25,000 word book, but I took a long time to just get it done because it was my first one. But at the beginning of the year, I decided, this is kind of fun. I'm enjoying writing. I'm having a really good time at it, and did my research to see what it was like, what the industry expectation was for indie authors, right? How much am I really going to have to produce? How much do these people, these industry whales, the Amazon whales as they call them, right? How much do they really just consume? And it's a lot. Authors are producing anywhere from 4 to 12 books a year these days. It's pretty crazy. Excuse me. Some of them only produce, the two, right? But I don't really see much in the industry of like the producing one sort of thing. There are a few people I've seen do it. Jenna Morici, don't know how to say her name. Oh my goodness, what's it called? She has a book out. It looks pretty interesting. Um, the Savior's Champion? The Savior's Champion? I think so. I think that's book one. Book two should be coming out or being written right now. She's doing the kind of slow, build a fan base, really just hammer it hard. She's got her social media thing down. It's pretty amazing. So go check her out. I'll put links to her things in the below. But what have I been doing? Right. Decided that doing 4 books a year is what one wants to shoot for. And then I didn't quite make that, right? To be honest, I got that one little book out, which is like 25,000 words, and then I actually did get 40,000 words into 2 rough drafts. And those rough drafts will absolutely equal 50 to 60,000 word books. So that to me is pretty good, right? If I could have stayed a little bit more focused and not gotten distracted by researching a little bit more of these right to market kind of ideas, I think I could have produced a little bit harder and faster. I know I spurted 20,000 words here and there and spread some stuff around here and but a lot of that comes with the practice, right? This is my first year really being a writer, and so a lot of this is going to go into just understanding the art in general and getting those skills down. And so that aside, if I hurry up for 2019, I should be able to get 2 books out early on in the year. And so that almost makes me halfway a success if I wanted to get 4 books done in a year. And that's pretty good for a first year, I think. If I can get up to where I'm doing 4 books a year in the next, 4 years now, right? Giving myself 5 years total, 4 years, that's first year down. That's like 9 books, right? 8 books, depending on how you do the math on that. that's a good enough catalog, right? That means I would definitely have to switch to some more of this, right to market e stuff, or something that is certainly more marketable or keyword findable. Excuse me. But that's it, right? I could see switching over to some of that, even just renaming the stuff I have now and just sort of thinking about it a little bit differently is not a problem. And really, that's just what it is to be a marketing person. Unicorns are popular, or were, I don't know if they still are anymore these days. Who knows? They've got to be at the end of their lifespan. But right, all the llamas and the little foxes and owls and all that stuff, that's all got a lifespan, and that's all just the current what people are into, and it'll change in the future, whatever that ends up being. And so to change with that really isn't that big a deal, right? That's where the right to market people versus the right to your passions people diverge, and I'm a little bit of both, honestly, because you got to right to your passions, you got to do what you love, you got to do what you know, but at the same time you also have to, if you want to make money at it, for sure, right? If you want to do this as a career, not as I hope I hit it big, I hope that people like the same thing I do. People do like the same thing you do, but will you find that audience? In the days of keyword research, are they going to find you, right? And that's really what it's about, is that everybody kind of pays their dues. They get those right to market sort of things done where they make their money, and then they can go and make their art. It's the way it is in a lot of different industries, and so I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a great thing to do, and so what that means is I've got to focus on a alternate Earth history vampire thing that I've got going on, and a post-apocalyptic zombie reclamation of the planet story. Right, and those will keyword out a little bit. Zombies, I know, are a little bit played out. Vampires never will be, though. It's crazy. And I've actually got a kind of a story that I really sort of like with that. It's definitely alternate history, and then a little bit of sci-fi, depending on where I decide to time slice into the universe I'm developing for it, right? But if I do it right, I've got a really nice time swath and a lot to choose from. So that's really fun for me, is trying to find some stuff where my passions and the industry might intersect, or at least what people are eating out of the industry bucket right now. That's pretty much it, right? I feel like I'm doing pretty good as far as that section goes, as far as the writing goes. Right? Always you have to do. Been listening to a lot of Chris Fox for how to write. He's got a book that's going to come out now. I think it's called Bert the Conqueror or Bert the Savior or something like that. And Chris Fox, again, I'll put links down below to his 6 weeks to a novel, I think is what he's calling this one. I can't remember what the writing challenge is, to be honest. But he's got a video series that I've been following along with, where he is starting a lit RPG farcical comedy, and it seems pretty good, and so I'll be checking that out in the future, just to see how this right to market yet not right to market stuff's going, because lit RPG is super popular right now. It's not my genre, it's not something I'm probably going to really write for, but it's not like I haven't watched Sword Art Online and a bunch of these other, you know what I mean, I've seen where this comes from, and so be very curious to see what Chris Fox does, where he's probably not that big a lit RPG fan. I don't know if he is or not. But he's absolutely an RPG fan, right? Like we all are, and so it'll be really interesting to see what he does. Anyway, how that affects me is I do believe that I need to start making. So this comes to 2019, right? New Year's resolutions. These aren't really resolutions, but these are things I need to get done as my author platform, right? And so what that's going to entail is figuring out what my YouTuber schedule is going to be, figuring out exactly what my content's going to be, and then sharing it. And that's about it, right? And I know that I really like what Chris Fox has as far as his, his personal tribulations, the craft, marketing. He's got it broken into really interesting categories that just make sense to me. But Derek Murphy also, he's got some great videos, and so I love the way he's breaking his stuff up. Yeah, so there's a bunch of YouTubers out who I really respect what they're doing right now, and I really like how they are compartmentalizing and categorizing their content, and I just have to figure out how I want to do that too, right? Because I do know a little bit about the techie side of things. I'm totally comfortable, playing around in a computer and doing things and changing file types and messing around in the HTML of making your own EPUB format or whatever file, or whatever ebook. And so I probably need to capitalize on that, right? And do more of these Scrivener tutorials and do more of the how-to videos and that sort of stuff for the tools and pipelines and Google Docs. And I just discovered the voice-to-text function in Google Docs, and it seems like it's pretty great. It doesn't have a quotation mark functionality to it, but that's something I would have to actually review and let you guys know in an alternate video. And so maybe that's worth it, right? Maybe that's something that needs to be done, that people care about. And the only way to find out is if I actually make the videos and let people know what tools I'm using, how I'm using them, and when I switch to something else and why. Because I was using Google Docs a lot, and I still use Google Docs. I'm really liking the voice-to-text functionality, but if I'm going to keep using it, I just downloaded Scrivener, obviously, and I'm doing those videos, and Scrivener is amazing, right? It has things that Google Doc doesn't. I'll write a review on that later, actually. I'll do a video on that. And since this video is getting long, I just wanted to let folks know my goals for 2019: solidify my YouTubing schedule and content compartments, right, for now. I'm sure that will change in the future because as I'm doing this, I'm realizing this is an iterative process and this stuff's going to change a lot as time goes on. So YouTube content, getting my writing done, right, and actually showing you folks how to do that and doing that. I should spend a little bit of time on my actual blog and on my website, just because that is where you get emails, the addresses, build the list. That's the important thing. And so I need to focus on that, getting my author platform for real, doing the videos as part of that, making sure my craft is tight is part of that. But ideally, I'll make 4 50,000 word books in 2019, and I would like to share with you how I get that done. That's going to be a book a quarter, so that's a book every 3 months, so that means I have to write a book in 2 months and then edit it in a month, get the cover done, do all that stuff. And so join me, folks. 2019 is going to be interesting. For me anyway. I hope it's interesting for you too. Good luck out there, and I will see you folks after the holidays. Bye.